Hello. Morning. Um, I just had an email from British Gas. This is midweek. This was. Thanks for the prompt, by the way, British Gas, because I wouldn't have done this video otherwise. Wow. So they're saying they're now looking into my complaint again. If you remember that they pretended they didn't have my number and they tried to contact me, and I hadn't answered, obviously. And then they said the complaint was closed. So now apparently, don't know what strange forces work in the metaverse. And they've said because it's been longer than 8 weeks. I mean, this has basically been dragging on since Christmas when I moved. So yes, it's been longer than 8 weeks. They've said I now have the right to contact the Energy Ombudsman. It's Ofgem, I think, isn't it? They have given me the details, but it'll become clear why I have not contacted the Ombudsman. So, basically 10 years, give or take, just for a number of ease, 10 years council case. The police lied to me. The Crown Court judge told me I wasn't allowed to give evidence in court. District Auditor PricewaterhouseCoopers confirmed the money had been stolen and then refused to investigate it. And then refused to investigate themselves for not investigating it. If you're a bit confused about all this, if you've just sort of found the channel or whatever, hopefully you should be able to find a video when I reported John Major to the police, which is supposed to come up when you first log on to the channel. So watch that. That will explain a lot. So yeah, the police lied to me. Council, of course, wouldn't investigate themselves. They said nothing had happened, even though the auditor had already confirmed that all the money had been stolen. And apart from a judge who told me I wasn't allowed to give evidence in court, there was another magistrate who intimated that I would go to jail if I tried to offer any evidence. That was in a court hearing, by the way, with just the magistrate and the council bloke, and they were having a good laugh between themselves. And it was all the lights were out nearly. It was nearly pitch black, and it was just me. Which is how the justice system works in Britain. That's what happens, isn't it? So obviously I've complained to the Judiciary Commission, originally the IPCC, then they changed the name because they thought that would make it better, and then it was the IOPC for the police, the Chief Constable's Office, Professional Standards, the Police Crown Commissioner's Office. They were one of the ones that said I wasn't allowed to talk to them anymore, I think. There were a few that said that. Oh, and now if I make a complaint against the police, I've got to go to the IOPC. And when I go to the IOPC, they say I've got to go to the police first. So I'm not allowed to make a complaint against the police anymore. And yeah, the LGO, Local Government Ombudsman, the Council, obviously, and various others. And despite a police inspector saying the Cambridgeshire Police would never investigate the council for any offence, despite them going ahead with a court order which had the wrong date of birth on it, and I was then told in interview with Cambridgeshire Police, as long as the address was right, it didn't matter what else was on the court order. And oh yes, 5 policemen with the bailiff knocking on the door for a warrant that was, I mean, I forget details, but at least a year out of date, if not 2, if not 3. But that was all fine because according to all the auditors and ombudsmen and everything, no one broke any laws, no one did anything wrong, ever. So really, British Gas, you just crack on investigating my complaint, and I'm not going to really bother with the Ofgem or your auditor or Watchdog or whoever they are, because I'm sure even if they did find you guilty of wrongdoing, you'd just make up your own little story and carry on regardless anyway. But I'm pretty sure they wouldn't, because it seems to me that all these auditors and watchdogs actually work for the body they're supposed to be governing.